everyone said. I guess one thing is just don't be discouraged and don't feel like, oh no, the world is ending. I'm never gonna, be able to get a job or an internship. Things will go back to normal at some point, and yeah, you will be able to, find something. It might take a little bit more time, and maybe your results won't be as immediate as you would hope. But I think it's definitely a good time to work on. Yeah, I think Ashley said, work on your skill set, figure out what your skill set is, and develop those things. Like for me, I was taking like online coding classes and things like that. It's probably a good time to do that. I think it's also probably a good time to, be reaching out to people. Say, LinkedIn is always a good way to, I'd get a lot of messages from random people on LinkedIn, like, hey, I see you do this, and, I'm interested in it. And it's probably, since things have slowed down in terms of work for a lot of people, it might be a good time to, get some informational interviews in and ask for advice about applications. I think, it's a great time to, network, work on your skills, work on just learning more research about different types of jobs, and work on your resume, all of that. So definitely lots of development activities you can be working on.
Awesome, thank you. Ashley, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I have a little something I can add. I feel like this is the time for networking. If you really haven't started yet, this is the time. Everyone's at home. So they have their computers right here. They're on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, and they're ready to talk to you. And I think a lot of people make the problem of thinking, you hear networking all the time, but the problem comes up that some people equate networking with asking, hey, can I have a job? Or someone saying, look, I have a job for you. And that's really not what networking is. Networking is about creating those friendships in the workplace that go across different workplaces that you might have. It's about making connections with someone who you might be able to mentor or who might be able to mentor you. So this is a great time to reach out if you need specifics on how to network. Maybe advice. If you still have school assignments to do, which I know you do, then you can take those school assignments and you can reach out to someone in the field and say, hey, your work is great. You work on this thing that I'm doing a project on, and I want to learn more about it. Can you share more with me about what you do? Do you mind looking over this paper I'm writing or this thing I'm doing and giving me your advice as someone who's an expert in the field? Say hi to people on LinkedIn, share your projects with them. If you don't add me on LinkedIn after this, you should add all of us on LinkedIn after this. We're all going to be great resources for you, because then you can say, hey, I had a sustainability panel on this day, or I've had people reach out to me who saw me on the sustainability panel last year. So that's a great thing to do. Share your passions and share what you're working on. For example, I am an avid beekeeper, and I've even put that on my LinkedIn, and I share it on my Instagram and on my Facebook. And that's such a good way to start conversations with people, because I will talk about bees all day long. So if you have something that you're interested in and you're passionate about, share it, even in a professional setting, because it may surprise you who else could be interested in that as well.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
And sorry, if I can just add really quickly. So Hannah, you brought up a really important term, informational interviewing. For some of our students who might not know what that means, could you walk us a little bit through what you mean by that?
Yeah, so an informational interview is essentially just reaching out to someone, say you see someone that has a job title where you're like, oh, that sounds really interesting. What is that? It's just, reaching out to that person and kind of getting a better sense of what their job entails, what do they do, what skills are involved, and what their day-to-day looks like what things you could be working on to get to that point. I think, depending on what your specialty is or what your particular interests are, that it could be completely different. They might give you advice you would have never thought of, but it's just a good way to expand your network and understand a little bit more about potential career paths. When you're starting out, you kind of have an idea of, there are things that you're interested in, but what you can actually do with that and where that can lead you in your career. I think informational interviews are really helpful.